Servus. I realized that you guys might be wondering what I've been up to for the last 1.5 years. So the last time I did a video, it was of me getting into TUM. At that time that I recorded the video, I was already doing a part-time job as a web developer and system admin. It was only like 5 to 10 hours each week, but I started that back in high school before I did my high school graduation, and then I continued doing that. In addition, at that time when I recorded the video, I also did another internship. Unfortunately though, being very busy with my studies and my internships, I didn't get to do any of the video ideas that I had. And also I wasn't all that happy with my part-time job anymore because I didn't learn as many new things as I would have liked. So back then I decided to quit my part-time job and look for better opportunities. Either I get some very good internships in the industry, or I might do some research, or if all of that doesn't happen, maybe I don't have the skills required yet. So what I did was I applied to some local companies, for example BMW, and also some international companies like Facebook, Amazon and Google. I waited for about a month, and then to my surprise actually, I got a response from a recruiter at Facebook that was interested in interviewing me. So I was really excited at that point. I really didn't expect that. But then also got the response for the actual interviews that will not be until maybe January. At the time back it was maybe November or September of 2018. Then really nothing happened for a long time. Out of the blue I got a phone call from a recruiter at Amazon, and they were interested in giving me an interview within like the next week, so I was really excited about that. Actually by that point, because it was like 2 months already back and I applied to multiple roles at Amazon, I actually wasn't really sure the recruiter for which job opening it was. But it was a recruiter for a data/business analyst, a position that I was not really sure about in the beginning, but I did the interviews, I did good in them, I really liked the interviewers. So then I got an offer after 2 interviews. From there on, I had my Facebook interview kind of in January, but I had to kind of make my decision by the new year, kind of Christmas. I was really excited about then going to Amazon in March of 2019. I didn't really prepare anymore for the Facebook coding interview. So that was kind of a disaster. It was my first real coding interview. Amazon's interview was more about SQL and data analysis and a little bit of machine learning kind of stuff. But Facebook was a classical software engineering, data structures and algorithms interview. So, well, I failed that badly. In my defense though, the interviewer also was eating his food while we had our interview, which I also found quite weird, but that's another thing. So then I got my offer from Amazon and I joined them in March, and in the beginning it was quite stressful for me. I didn't have any big company experience before. I had some internship experience, 4 I think at that point, but never at any big companies, always at small companies. What I didn't mention though is that was not an internship, at least by American standards. It's like a part-time role where you work 20 hours each week, and also it's kind of more designed to last longer like a normal employment would. Maybe it's designed for students to last 1 or 2 years. For me it didn't. For me it only lasted 6 months, because already back in November or December of 2018 I got my offer from a Chinese university, Zhejiang University, which is kind of one of the top Chinese universities, to go there for a semester abroad. So after my 6 months of internship at Amazon, my next stage was then to go abroad to China, which for me was a big thing. I really was looking forward to that. I kind of started learning Chinese at the beginning of my studies at TUM. So by that point that I got into China, I kind of learned Chinese for 2 years. By the way, that had definitely not been enough. I could maybe go shopping or something basic like that. My campus was close to Xihu, which is the most popular Chinese tourist attraction within China. My life there was really interesting. I joined like 2 student organizations and also tried to involve myself as much as possible in Chinese student life. Also, like on Christmas, we organized a Christmas party. While I was in China, or even actually the time kind of before I left to China, just for fun I applied to Google again because they always rejected me without even anyone talking to me. So because I was doing an internship at Amazon right now, I was trying to see if now Google would accept me, which they did. I don't know if that's surprising or not surprising, but I got a response from a recruiter. Actually, because I just tried it out, it would have been by the time that I'd be in China. Of course, that wouldn't work out. So I then told the recruiter maybe I can do it the next season. So that would have been winter, like right now actually. I had to do 2 interviews, classic coding interviews. And so by the time back then, it was really stressful. I was preparing for China. I had exams coming up. I kind of had to hand over my work that I did at Amazon, and I had to prepare for those coding interviews. But I prepared a lot for the coding interviews, and actually I did okay on them. I didn't, after those 2 interviews, Google was still undecided. So they gave me another coding interview, which I then said, oh, well, I'm moving to China basically next week. So we kind of pushed that out further. So I did that then in China. It was really a challenge in China because of the restricted internet. So I had 2 VPNs, one on my phone, one on my computer, and the one on my computer wouldn't work. So I kind of coded on my phone, if you can imagine that. It was also a big challenge, but it was fun in the end. So I then passed that interview, which was great news. At that point back then, I really thought, oh, I now made it. Actually, as you might know by now, I'm here back in Munich again. It's not true. And so now they just said, well, we just need to find a project for you. So for me, I was like, yeah, probably I will get a response within a few weeks. They told me it can take 6 to 8 weeks. So nothing happened for a few weeks. I kind of contacted my recruiter, but nothing really happened. After a month maybe, I kind of panicked a little bit, and I actually also wrote my Facebook recruiter, the one where I failed so badly previously. I wrote her whether actually Facebook might also give me an interview, which they did. They were super quick to respond. I did those, also 2 interviews, and then within a month, I still didn't hear back from Google. I got my offer from Facebook. So I'm going there in September of this year, which will also be very exciting. But what my plan was to do my Google internship in winter. And that part of the story didn't work out, unfortunately. So after 2 months of waiting in the internship pool, I kind of was still disappointed. I kind of had given my hopes up. So at that point, Amazon recruiters contacted me again. And of course I said, yeah, definitely I'm interested. It took about a month for them to do the interviews, for me to pass them, and then for them to give me an offer. So at the time, around Christmas, so I organized a Christmas party, which was very fun, but also quite stressful. It was a party for 30 to 40 people. And so around at that time, I then got my offer from Amazon, and the day that I wanted to sign the offer, Google then contacted me again with, oh, now we actually found you a project after 3 months of waiting. It was a very exciting project. It would have been Google kind of VR, AR project, so very, very exciting. So I did the interviews for that, but already in the interviews I kind of realized that they were looking more for a research-oriented person, which, to be honest, at that point I didn't have any research experience. I tried to push Amazon out further a little bit, like to not sign it as soon as maybe New Year. But then the Amazon recruiters got back to me and said, oh, that's unfortunately not possible. So then I had to like push Google again. So Google was then basically saying, well, we cannot interview any other candidates, so we now have to decide. So basically they probably had to decide whether I'm an incredibly strong candidate, and unfortunately I wasn't. So I accepted Amazon and kind of gave up on Google, and which was also like, at that point was the advice from my Google recruiter. But yeah, the experience kind of was very long, as you now realized, and kind of, yeah, disappointing in the end overall. Like overall it was like 8 months from the initial contact to the first recruiter to then well saying, okay, well, I give up on this idea. So that's almost where I'm currently at. So when I was in China, I did then my final exams in China. I did take 3 courses. I actually had more courses, but to be honest, I could just take 3 courses because of the load of other stuff that I was doing. I also wanted to have fun and like travel in China. So I did a little bit of traveling, and then like the big disease came around. So then what I did was basically leave. I left a bunch of my stuff in China, and then I left off to Germany again, made it back safely. Then basically the next week after that started my internship at Amazon. And that's where I'm currently at. I'm currently doing my internship at Amazon, or basically at AWS, in solutions architecture. Next semester I will take a pretty heavy course load. Then in September I will go to Facebook. And then afterwards, probably I will write my bachelor thesis. And then afterwards, I might graduate. I don't know whether I will graduate within the next 2 semesters or whether it might take me 3 semesters. But I'm really excited for what's ahead. I'm also really excited to be back in Munich, to talk to my friends again, to be part of the student initiatives that I was part in previously. And if you have any questions on my internships, on studying abroad, on what it's like to be a student at TUM, just feel free to ask me. So I hope this video was interesting to you, and see you in the next video. Servus.